Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? A little late recap today. I had a whole lot going on. A whole lot going on today. Starting with this morning, having to take my wife's car to the dealer and just not my schedule being kind of off, and I had to take things really slow, and everything kind of worked out. I knew whenever, and we've talked about this before, where when your morning routine is shot and you can't get comfortable in the market, then you sit and trade. And if I didn't get comfortable and didn't feel comfortable in the market, I wouldn't have traded today, or traded the morning. I'd have waited till the second session. But it's just a crazy morning for me, crazy day because of everything I had to end up doing. But let me share this quick message with you, and then we'll get into the recap here. And I really, really need to drive and emphasize this point. Analysis alone does not make you money. You could be the best analyst in the world. You could be the best chart reader. You could be the best, fundamental researcher. It doesn't matter. None of that is going to make you money. What makes you money is your execution. That's what makes you money because you could analyze everything to a T, but if you can't execute the trade, you're not going to make any money. It doesn't matter how many tools how many bells and whistles you have, how many monitors you have, whether you have trade ideas or whether you have a lightning fast broker. None of that stuff matters if you can't execute your trade in the market. It doesn't. So don't worry about a lot of new traders worry about the wrong stuff. The focus has to be on execution. That's why the exercise that I have and that I share with you in the roadmap to success is so important. And that's why I say, and I'll stand by this until the day I leave this earth. If you're unable to execute that simple trade, that simple exercise, you'll never be a trader. Now you'll make winning trades, but you won't be consistent and you won't be able to keep that money. Anybody can make winning trades. It doesn't take any skill to make winning trades. All you have to do is be able to click a mouse. And the 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 thing is, we can make winning trades, but if at the end of the month we're not making any money and it's like that month after month after month and we can't get anywhere, there's a disconnect. And that I'm trying to connect those dots for you. The whole purpose of me having this community and me, doing this education is to get you all of these classes, and it's just one simple thing. It's execution. It all boils down to how well you can execute your trade plan in the market. Without fear, without hesitation, without reservation, you just do it. Okay, the analysis and all of that stuff comes ahead of time. When it comes time to take the trade, you got to be ready to take it or walk away and move on to the next one. And it's just as simple as that. So remember, analysis doesn't make you the money. It's your execution and being able to execute consistently is what's going to do it for you. You know, and I've worked with so many guys that's been in two or three, four chat rooms or communities at one time, and they just keep going. If this one's hot, they're gonna follow this one. If this one's hot, they're gonna follow that one, and they never get anywhere, and can't figure out why. It's like when I get over here, I make a winning trade, but then I can't do any more. And I come back here and I make a winning trade or two and I can't do any more. It's all because you're not consistent with your execution. And you're changing the variables every time you you move. You change the variables, and there's no consistency in that. None. Absolutely none. All right, so let's take a look at today. Um, Here's the 5 minute chart on the SPY. And you can see this is the 5 minute opening range right here. Look how tight this is. 341.06 to 341.50. That's the opening candle in that tight range. Typically when that happens, we're going to have a decent and volatile day. It's it's usually when we get the huge candles at the open and we have like 2 or 3 point opening range, that's when we don't really see much. So I felt pretty good about this. The number one, we had established over the daily 20, which is right here, and we really looked strong. So I was really feeling good about the market today. I thought the bulls had regained control, and we were going to start that march up. But you can see it was really choppy, and the price action was relatively tight for a long time until we started rolling over here. Who knows why it rolled over? Don't really care. It doesn't matter. The fact is, how is this affecting the trades that we're in, or are the trades that we're in breaking down? Now, if we're in day trades, of course, we're looking at these smaller moves, and if the market's going the wrong way, and we're in these day trades, probably want to take them off because we don't know where this thing's going to go the rest of the day. But when you're in a swing trade or you're in, an all-day hold or whatever, you shouldn't be looking at stuff on a 5 minute chart anyway. You're looking at it all-day holds. We look at the 60 minute chart. That swing trades, we look at the daily chart, and you're gonna see exactly why that's important here in a couple of minutes. But you could see, and right now I think the market um, is back up around 341, somewhere in this range. It's back up there now. But we can't overreact to some of these things. If we're not day trading, there's a different mindset, a different methodology, a different way of approaching the market, and you can't really mix the two. Because if you do, it's going to cause you some issues. Now look at this SPY on the daily chart. Doesn't really look that bad. It doesn't even look like it was as volatile as it was today, or it had those big swings. This is why I watch the daily chart when I'm watching my swing trades. But what's unique about this, and what I want to point out first, is that the price action, this candle, is sandwiched between the 20 EMA and the 20 SMA. Now, rarely does this thing have this much divergence. Okay, and we can see different spots here, right here. We had this big divergence. What happened afterwards? Look at that. Look at what happened here. We had a little divergence here, and we tried to make a little bounce. Look at this divergence here. And it ran up. This divergence never has not really singled any extended sell-off, since we had the big crash. So I'm expecting this, to recover and push. I'm looking at this. Technically, we are above the 20. We're above the 5-day. And the bulls still have a little hold on it. It may not be the strongest of grips, but it's a decent hold on it. Um, so me personally, I'm expecting it to go up. Now that doesn't mean I won't have a plan if it does sell off. But that's what I'm looking for. And this is why I actually made the moves that I made on the swing trades yesterday. Because, you know, I if you've been through my swing trading class, the first thing I teach is market cycles and how the market moves in cycles or phases, however you want to turn, whatever terminology you want to use. Um, and there's certain cycles or phases that you do not take trades in because you don't have an edge. The odds are not in your favor that it's going to move in that direction. It's more of a 50-50 shot. And whenever you're stuck in a channel like this is one of those phases that you really don't want to be in a swing trade because you don't know which direction it's going to go. Okay, so I was anticipating yesterday that we were going to get the gap up. We held the 50. We kind of confirmed that we held this bounce, this test of the 50, and I felt pretty good about getting in swings yesterday, even though this hasn't confirmed. Um, so I took a little chance, and sometimes we do that. But I feel that I have enough experience to know and to understand, what's happening and what's starting to shape up. The problem is there's no way of knowing what the other participants in the market's going to do. And these are the guys that can actually move the needle. And you don't know. So, and you don't have to know. All you need to know is that you have an edge, and if you can execute it in the market consistently every day, you can make money. Bottom line. Now, is every trade going to be a winner? No, it's not. Is every day going to be a winner? No, absolutely not. Yesterday was a killer day for me. Big time red. But, did I come in today bitching, moaning, and complaining? Well, I did a little bit about Apple. I was still complaining about that, but that didn't affect me in my decision making. But I had a plan, and every one I come in and I executed. But I wanted to point this out because if these swing trades don't work, and if you see me take them off, um, this is, if I tell you, hey, I'm taking them off, this is why. Because this stock is, I mean, the market is still stuck in this channel, and at that point, I don't have any idea, especially if it loses to 20. I have no idea what's going to happen. So in that respect, you be all cash, take what you got, and move on. All right, so let's take a look at today. Okay, PTON, this was the all-day hold idea I gave you. This is the first example of what can happen if you get too wrapped up in the intraday ups and downs if you're looking to hold all day or looking to hold overnight. I was looking to hold this for a couple of days. That's my goal, to hold this a couple of days. This is the TD Ameritrade one. Today was supposed to be the last day of the beta test. I haven't gotten any other information on it, so I don't know if it's going to be dead when I log in tomorrow, if they're going to actually make this thing happen. And I hope they do because I love trading on DOS with this. But we got in, I got in right before the open because I didn't want to be stuck trying to trade all this stuff. Um, Most of the all day holds I'm gonna get in prior to the market opening. Usually it's a lot earlier than this. But here's a pre-market low. All right, so we pushed up, we pulled back, we made a higher low, we started to push up, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna get this. I know we probably get a pullback, and this is why you don't sit there and watch a 5-minute candle. You get in, your stop is going to be below the pre-market low, and you let the thing go. You have your target, and which mine was 90. I was first target's 90. If it didn't hit it today, I was looking for it tomorrow. But then we get the Apple news. Okay, Apple decided it's going to get into the fitness. There was a buzz about Apple potentially buying PTON or partnering with them or whatever with the fitness app, but it looks like Apple's wanting to do it on their own, because they had a platform. They have the new Apple Watch that measures your what is it? Your blood oxygen level and pulse and all that good stuff. So it only makes sense, for them to kind of expand on that platform. And so the prices that they put out is a lot cheaper than Peloton, PTON. In terms of, I think one of the subscriptions for Peloton is like $39 per month if you have their own Peloton hardware. Then if you use the app, I think it's $12.99 a month. But yet Apple Fitness came out $9.99 a month. Is what their go. I mean, so obviously people got spooked, and this is just over emotion. And I was telling you guys that it's just over emotion. People are, the stock moves on emotion. The market moves on people's emotions. And how many times have we seen this happen? And this recovers, and that's exactly what it did. Now, it didn't recover all the way back up to 88, but it did recover, and I think it's hovering around 85, 50-ish, or somewhere in there right now, or that's where it closed, I think. Um, Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, around 85.20 is where it stopped trading after market, 8 o'clock. So, I'm still up good on it. I got in at 83.60. I'm, you know, maybe a point and a half up still. But here's the thing. If you look at it on a 60-minute chart or even a daily chart, this is a daily chart. I was looking at it on a daily chart really because I was looking to hold it for a couple of days. And this does not look intimidating. This scary. All right, this not. So that's why if you're looking to hold something for a period of time, you don't want to look at it on this on this chart here. Now, everybody that I was talking to that took this trade, they all bailed out. Didn't listen to me. Um, bailed out. And I mean, it could gap down in the morning and I take me out for a loss. I mean, it could still do that. But the thing is, I bet you, and everybody I talked to, I asked them, were you looking at your P&L when you saw it all the way up there? Did you look at your P&L and say, "Ooh, I'm up," depending on your size, 500, 1,000, $1,500, and then you saw it down to a couple of dollars to, a couple $100, and you're like, "I'm not gonna let this take me red," so you took the trade off. You did that because you were scared to lose money. You were afraid to lose money, or you were afraid to be wrong on the trade, and you can't do that. If you're gonna be a trader, you're gonna have to learn and understand how the market moves, what creates the market sentiment and all that good stuff. So, still in this. This is crazy. I haven't seen this on TD Ameritrade. This is crazy the way this thing filled. Um, Now I've had orders split before, but not this bad. This was crazy. when I saw this. I'm like, man, I had, a couple of arrows here, but this is all the same order. It's all the same limit order I put in um, going into the open. Let's see. So we're still holding PTO in, and all of the swings. Okay, all of the swings. Nothing's changed on that. We're just waiting to see, what this market's gonna do. You let the market tell you the story. You trust the technical levels that you have in place, knowing that the market's gonna pull back, bounce, do whatever it's gonna do. If your technicals hold, your trade's still alive. It's the bottom line. All right, so we got OSTK. This wasn't the first trade. We'll look at Roku last, since that was the first and the last trades I took today. But here was the opening range breakdown. Really good. This made a really solid move. Now, this was choppy, and overstock does get a little choppy at the open. So if you're trading this at the open, you really have to be ready for it. And even here, we got a little bit of volatility. So what I did was I could have got in on the rejection, more more aggressive entry for a trend continuation. But one of the changes that I made in my strategy during these last several months is I waited for it to break the channel. Okay, I let it establish a channel and let it break. It's more conservative, but I'm I have a better edge. Okay, you still have a little bit of an edge here, but it's actually better here. It's not as profitable trade per trade, but overall, it's more accurate and it's more profitable in the end. So that's why, a lot of times I will use the more conservative entry, especially now. But we got in here, got to the first move, and then it ripped back against us. And once the technicals broke down, eyes were off of this. We just went back and start watching our initial trade on Roku. So here's Roku. This wasn't even on my watch, but Roku and BA are always my secondary watches. Um, I don't even say it that much anymore because it's like a broken record. But I always have those two charts up in addition to my main watch list. But this one, I was watching it, it broke out, and it was actually up. But by the time I clicked the button, you know, it had pulled back, and I got in under the high. But, I did click it when I was supposed to when it broke the high, but a better entry. So I'm not going to complain about that. Hit our first target, second target, almost made it to the third target. Almost. I think it was 169.25 I was looking for. Um, and didn't quite get it. And it pulled back. Tried to bounce and ended up stopping me back out. And we sat back and waited. And here we put in a bottom and double tapped it here, and we started to push up. Now I started to get in here. This would have been the best entry, but I'm looking at this candle right here with the long wick. I've seen this in the past where a lot of stocks, more often than not, get stuck here. So I waited until we broke this because there was still enough room for me to get profit here, and I could take profit halfway and the trade would still make sense. So I got in and still got a pullback. But technicals held up. We didn't lose the 9 and ended up getting, sorry about that, my mic went out. Ended up getting one target here, second target, which was right through the high day, and did not get through to my last target, and then it ended up coming back, but and hitting a profit stop I had here. But all in all, a really, really solid day. I wasn't over aggressive. I wasn't trying to make up for yesterday all in one day. We ended up 857.11. Not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Um, and come in tomorrow, I'm going to try to take whatever tomorrow is going to give me. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to try to get back green on the week. Um, it's early in the week. I've got 3 days. So be patient, stay consistent with my execution, do what I do, and it's going to come through. That's why I do this, so you guys can see what you have to do. Now, I know it's easier said than done. I know this. I experienced it. I lived through it. I promise you. But it can be done. And I have the formula. You just have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do what it takes to make it happen. So that's all I got tonight. Got to get some sleep, at least take a nap so I can get everything clear and get the morning started off on the right foot. So you guys have a great night, great rest of the night, a great morning wherever you are, and I will see you guys in a couple hours.